Hey, check it. Hey, check it. Put the place up.
What is going on? This is the local Gridiron on RoCo Radio. I'm Joe Dexter along with my friends, the good, the great, the aplenty. We've got Mr. I Love Halloween up in your top right corner. In the bottom left corner, standing 6 foot tall, weighing in at 150 pounds, Jay, the Kid Ramey. And alongside him, the ultimate bruiser, the Hat Man, Jonathan Hatley. We are ready for the regular season to come to a close. Actually, we're not ready for that. We just know it's here. What's going on, guys?
Look, 6 foot 150 was generous, but okay.
How off was I? It was a guess.
Well, no, I want people to believe that. So if that's the guess, like if people are going to guess 6 foot, then sure, go ahead, guys. Thank you.
If you were 6 foot, now that I think about it, if you were 6 foot 150, we just start calling you Mini Wemby.
Why are we talking about me when we've got Michael Myers in the top right or Jason Voorhees or whichever one? I don't know. I don't watch horror movies. He's just not going to say anything. This is perfect. Can you do this every time?
We can't.
Okay, I'm actually a little worried now.
How do we entertain? How do we entertain the man in the corner up here on the right side? How do we do it? On this
Your color man's giving us some silent treatment.
That's the first.
Did you pay him? All right.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers in the top right.
Color man, how do you feel about the regular season of football coming to a close? Mr. I Love Halloween.
Your mind work needs work.
It's the local Gridiron here on RoCo Radio, RoCoRadio.com. Coming up, we'll take a look at our two games this week. We've got Walkertown at Moorhead, and we've got a rivalry between county foes in McMichael heading to Reidsville to take on the Rams. We'll preview those. We'll take a look at the playoff picture. We might hand out some candy.
What?
You never know. You never know what's going to happen on the local Gridiron. You just never know. Listen, this show has accomplished every goal it's set here tonight because the kid is more confused than he's ever been in his life.
Yeah, my confusion hurts.
And he has to commentate with me, so, that's a great feat.
Oh, yeah. This is even more confusing than that.
Jay, are you on this Halloween Eve, are you a Halloween fan?
Not really. I mean, it's there, but I can't trick or treat. I'm 17. I'm not a big fan of scary. So I'm more of a Thanksgiving guy. So I like Halloween because I like that it kind of moves you into Thanksgiving season, if that makes sense.
You've
He
ruined
can't argue
spirits.
with me.
You've ruined spirits, Jay. But I can't act like I don't agree with you.
Look, you asked me if I like it. I'm not a Halloween hater. It's just
We asked for the truth, and he delivered. That's all we can do. Hatley, are you a Candyman Halloween man? Shrugs of the shoulders.
It's all right. It's fun for the kids. They get to go out trick or treat and get scared by Michael Myers.
my little sister gave me a bunch of candy, so I like that part.
Do you think that Mr. I Love Halloween is stealing candy from neighborhood kids?
What are you talking about? He's stealing it from his own kids.
Hey, the beautiful thing about Mr. I Love Halloween is he could be a politician. He's got the finger point down.
What about you, Joe? What's your thoughts? Halloween? You got young kids?
Listen, all right. If it weren't for the young kids, Halloween would be the most wretched thing ever created to man. But the kids make it that much better. So it does make it enjoyable when you're out with them. But let's be honest. And no, I'm not Joe Biden. We need the silence for this moment.
Yeah, we got the Trump dance in the top right, and we got you talking about Joe Biden in the top left.
Listen, all Halloween is an evil bridge to the greatest holidays of all time. There's no question. There's no doubt about it. Let's hand out candy so that we can get to Thanksgiving. You see the bell.
There we go.
You know where Thanksgiving ranks. It's number 2, barely to Christmas Day. But
no, Thanksgiving's number 1. Because look, okay, Christmas season, the days leading up to Christmas are more fun than Christmas itself, I think, because you get to look forward to it. So Thanksgiving starts that off.
Cranberry. That's how I feel about cranberry sauce right here.
Never had it.
It's the local Gridiron here on RoCo Radio, RoCoRadio.com, as we get you ready for week number 11. We'll start with you, Hatman. Can you believe that it is week 11?
Man, it's flown by again this season. We honestly didn't have a lot of an off season between covering the softball playoffs, and then all of a sudden it was week 1 of football, and it's just been a whirlwind for the last year plus.
How many minutes? It says on the top left that we are 8 minutes into this.
Yes.
So is this the longest David's ever been without talking?
Since he learned how, probably.
I was going to say, the intro's 1 minute and 25 seconds, so at 1 minute 26, we were already breaking records. So, I mean, that's just par for the course. Halloween Man, your thoughts on the season. Your thoughts, Mr. Myers.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Oh, you got the shirt even with it too.
Oh man, it's been another great season, guys. It really has. We've got to see some great athletes across the board. All 4 Rockingham County teams. We always get to travel to some beautiful facilities. We get to see great players across the board. I mean, it seems like every year that we do this thing, it just flies by like crazy. And I hate it. I wish we could go 365 days and keep doing it. But, man, I know it's got to end sooner or later. But, man, what a season it's been. And we still got a long ways to go, guys. We ain't even hit playoffs yet. And it's going to be fun to see what really happens.
Now that the Grinch of Halloween is not scared anymore, Jay, your thoughts on the end of the season and this season in general?
It was a fun season, but we've still got a lot of season left to go, and it doesn't seem like any teams in the mid-state have been eliminated yet. So, I mean, in a sense, you're kind of sad that it's not, week 6 or week 7, but we think all season long about this time of the year, and that's kind of what we hype up this is where you stand in the playoffs. This is where, and now we're finally approaching Selection Sunday. It's Sunday, right? Not Monday.
Yes.
They changed the date, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So, we get excited for this moment all season long, and I'm glad that it's finally approaching, even though I'm sad to see the season end.
Before we move on to more football questions, I got to ask you, David, were you at that point where that mask was getting a little heavy, the breath, you're starting to smell your...
No.
Why'd you take it off?
6, 7. I could have wore that mask the whole show, dude, not said a word.
Oh,
Why
that would have
didn't
been amazing. Because he's got valid points to make, Jay. We've got key football coming up on Friday.
No, I think that was a valid
we
point.
need Mr. Woods, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
All right?
I love you, Jay.
It would be funny if you had a mannequin with the mask on, and
Dude.
you joined as
All right,
David Woods on another one.
So let me tell you the funny story real quick before we get started. So my wife, she went through beauty school. She's got these mannequins or whatever. I was going to get one for my mother-in-law's house, and I was actually going to set it up and just let y'all think it was me the whole time, and then scoot on in and say, "What are you doing, guys? I mean, I'm right here."
That would be great.
Oh, the old Al Snow routine.
Yeah.
Well, Melita has a good question. How's the RPI looking? Well, how about we get right into that right here, right now, and talk about how the RPI is looking. We'll break it down. It's quite simple. We've got it all for you here on RoCo Radio and RoCoRadio.com. When you look at it, at the top is Reedsville, the number 2 in the 4A RPI at 7-2. Heading into this final week, number 1 seed in the 4A East. They'd be the number 2 overall in the 4A. They would face the winner of Nash Central, number 16, and number 17, Washington, in the second round. Now, this is if the season ended today. We do expect some changes to happen. This year, the RPI format allows teams to jump just a little bit more than in previous seasons. If we were doing this show at this time last year, I'd say you could pretty much lock in these spots, maybe outside of Rockingham County, whose season has come to a close with the bye week this week. They're 5-4 overall this season in the 5A, the number 28 seed or RPI ranking in that 5A spot, the number 13 seed in the East. They would host number 20 Montgomery Central in the opening round if the season ended today. 7-1 Walkertown, number 9 in the 3A RPI, the number 5 seed in the 3A West. They would receive a bye and face the winner of 12 West Wilkes and 21 Madison in the second round. Carver at 6-3 overall in the 4A, number 23 overall in the RPI. They would be the 11th seed in the East, the same side as Reedsville. They would host Ledford in the opening round. 2-7 Moorhead would be number 44 in that 4A RPI. They'd also be in the East. They would be the 21st seed. They'd face number 12 North Pitt on the road in round 1. Bartlett Yancey at 2-7 in the 3A RPI at number 44. They would be the number 23 seed in the East. They would travel to take on number 11 Princeton in the opening round. And in the 3A West, the number 22 seed would be McMichael, number 45 in the 3A RPI at 2-7 overall on the season. They would travel to take on number 11 West Davidson in the opening round if the season did end today. So since we're here, we've taken a look at the Mid-State Conference playoff picture. Let's take a look at the conference standings. Overall, Reedsville at 7-2, 5-0 atop the conference. They'll take home the conference title for the 14th consecutive season. Rockingham County 4-1, number 2, alongside Walkertown, who's 3-1. The game will be imperative for Walkertown against Moorhead. They'll get that tie with the conference, the second spot, if they defeat the Panthers. 2-3 for Carver, 2-3 for Moorhead, 1-4 for Bartlett Yancey, 0-5 for McMichael. That's your Mid-State Conference standings and a look at the playoff picture. Any initial thoughts, guys, as you take a look at that?
I mean, I like the fact that all of our conference teams are looking at playoff berths. With the way the RPI is set up, it gives us an advantage playing in a tough conference. And a lot of schools have scheduled tough non-conference slates to get playoff berths.
It also shows, and again, we did this last week. We won't go too heavy RPI. It shows if you win games, you're still going to do just fine. I mean, you look at Carver; they're going to be the 11th seed in the west side of the bracket. So 6-7.
Oh my gosh.
Tomato, potato. I mean, it.
Wait,
think
so
that-
you said that last year at this point, this is kind of off topic, but not really. You said last year at this point the seeds will be pretty much locked in. Do you think like the general area that these teams are in, like you're a 37 seed, well maybe you'll move to 38 or 36, but
Yes.
probably you'll stay in that range. You think okay, all right.
For most divisions, the most you would be able to move up is one spot. Some maybe two. You're
So
not
you
going to
think
move
pretty
up
much
more.
every team is locked into the playoffs right now?
Yes. I think every team is locked in the playoffs. I think there is. No, I think they're going to all get in. I don't think there's any way that they all don't get in. But
Especially because the teams near the bottom are playing teams with such crazy good records. You know, we got a 3-6, or a 6-3, 7-1, and a 7-2.
yep, and it does hurt that, or does help that McMichael is slated for the west side of the bracket. Now that again, the East
That
and
could
West could
change.
also change. That's exactly to Jay's point. Last year that was locked in. We knew we would be in the West for all of our teams, but that is something that is determined by latitude and longitude. Or is it longitude? One of the two.
Latitude.
It's determined by location in the falling of every single team in the playoffs. So in your classification. So it could change. I think that everything's going to stay the same, though. I think it's going to be where it is. We'll see. We'll find out. Do you want to see a change in the RPI for playoffs after seeing where things could land, or are you still a little reserved on it? Start with you, Jay. Your thoughts.
I mean, everything eventually shakes out because there's 48 teams, and that's just an insane number. I think that the teams that we're going to get bye weeks, we're going to be good anyways. So, like, it does all shake out eventually, but I think it would all shake out if there were 32 teams. I mean, I don't like the RPI right now. I wish it was more heavily favored towards the win column, but, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think there's too much difference between being 5 seed, 6 seed. Now, maybe if you're a 4 seed, 5 seed, that could get upsetting if there was a different format that would result in you being being the home team. But all in all, it shakes out.
Is the answer fixing the RPI, or is it going down to 36 or 32 teams? I think you're more on with that.
I like 32 teams. I like 32 teams because some teams, the bye week can hurt you, I think. Like if Rockingham County got the bye this upcoming week, I don't think 21 days of no football would be good if they ended up in the top 8 on the West or the East, especially because they've got the bye week at the end. I think all teams should just, like if you're the number 1 seed, a 32 seed should be a bye week for you, in my opinion. And it also lets you continue to play and stay up to speed, not get out of rhythm at all. Now, you risk the injuries, but if you're winning by enough, you can sit them out.
I think a good point in looking at this, and a good experiment live here on the local Gridiron. So I'm taking a look at 4A, the top 32 seeds. The 33rd seed is the only other team above 500, or even at 500. So that 32 mark, looking at the 4A rankings, so if you go to the 32nd ranking, RS Central is 5-4. The 33rd seed is 5-4. Everybody else is under 500.
Okay.
So it shows to be, at least in the 4A, as a good barometer if you're at 32 teams to get that. I'm an old school guy in Michigan. It was over 500 and you're automatically in. 5-5, you have a chance to get in. I'm a big believer in that, so I can see where 32 might get us to that. Let's check 3A real quick. 3A, the 32 seed is 5-4. The 33rd seed is 5-4. Everybody else is under 500.
Make the 32 and the 33 seed play on the Wednesday before. No,
And let's do 5A, one last check for the divisions that we care about here in our community. The 32nd seed is 5-4. The 34th seed is 5-4. Everybody else is under 500.
So I think 32 should be the cutoff.
It's a good number. Not 6,
Nice
7. It's
round
32.
number. No buy rounds needed.
Yep. So how do
You
you
were saying the
balance
number
it?
was round. It was very confusing.
How do you balance it though? Because this is why we all know why it's 48. Because you want to you're eliminating a round potentially with 32 teams. So how does the NCHSAA make up that revenue? That's above our pay grade.
Well, they're also losing the revenue because there's not
Definitely
59
above
teams
our pay
in, but
grade
who
on that one.
cares?
But that's a good question to figure out, though. Like, what could possibly,
Well, I mean, you take the 8A, for example. There's only 32 teams in 8A. Then you go down to 1A, you've got like 25 that actually play football or something like that.
If it's all about money, just let every team in because more money, right?
But the thing about it is, though, like when you talk about revenue, how many teams are going ahead and saying, you know what, we're not going to play anyway?
That's true, because you got those travel expenses. You might have teams driving 3-4 hours across the state to play their first round game.
Yeah, you're looking at maybe from last year, Joe, maybe 6 teams backed out that were in the 2A or something like that. That's
just 2A and 3A in our area. And that's not even considering the other classifications. But the money my concern for the money isn't about the schools necessarily, though that's a part of it. The big part is the NCHSAA will not do it unless they can make up the money that they're making in these first round games that are eliminated. So that's a different question for a different day, maybe. But I think that's the solution, that if fans want to see a change and don't want to see, or even teams or administrators and athletic directors want to see a change, where if they are an under 500 team, and they're 2-7, they don't have to travel. Maybe that's the way, but maybe also for a 2-7 team, I mean, there are moments where that's a life memory, going on the road, the playoffs with your guys, and maybe making some noise. I mean, we've seen it. It's happened before where an under 500 team has gone on the road and won when maybe they weren't expected to at that low of a seed. So it's a catch-22. It's a 6-7, but,
Well, I understand it's a lifelong memory, but the reason that lifelong memory is special is because you earn it. Like, I think that it makes it even more of a memory if you had to scratch and claw your way to a 31 rather than feeling like, oh, we didn't even belong here, or going, 4 hours across the state and getting your teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
But there's always that what if.
Yeah, and then you take teams that they're taking 20 fans maybe to a visiting game. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that's a question that they're asking in their office quite often. And as they're looking at this, I know they kind of like to work in 4-year plans, but I could definitely see that it's something they discuss to go down to 32 teams, because, I mean, maybe it's because we're in the 4A and the 3A, and maybe the 8A's too small already. The 1A's too small already. I can't imagine you go to maybe the 6A needs to keep 48. I just don't understand. Maybe there needs to be more research done on my part to see that, but I'm agreeing with Jay. I think 32 teams might be the answer instead of changing RPI or looking at that.
And I'm going to tell you, man, Jay's the man when it comes to the RPI stuff. It's every day. He's like, man, my brain is fried, dude. I'm trying to figure this thing out, like what is going on. And I mean,
well, look, I just thought it was a simple computer formula, so it was really stressing me out. But I realized that, maybe it doesn't go off max preps.
Maybe you need to be the next president of this whole bad boy. Maybe I will vote for you. I promise you. I will vote for you right now.
I'll nominate you right now
to take care of this thing.
No, please no. I don't think so. My obsession with brackets stays as a broadcaster.
Let's go to the comments. Jimmy says it's all about the dollars. Melita says it's all about the money. Coach Anglero in the comments. Let's go, guys. Can't wait to see you on the hardwood. Coming up soon, Coach. Looking forward to it. Glad to have you listening in here on the local Gridiron. And one key question that is being asked in the comments. It's a very important question. All of the big heads, the big wigs, they've talked about it. They've discussed it. It's been a discussion even on First Take, ESPN's First Take. Jay, will anyone ever break Al Bundy's record at Polk High? 4 touchdowns in a single game.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
T.A. McClendon broke that a long time ago.
Nobody ever.
You
beats
just
Al Bundy.
50-50 shot. Just yes.
No. Nobody ever beats Al Bundy. There's no doubt in my mind. Nobody ever touches Al Bundy. No.
Does Jay even know who Al Bundy is?
I don't get the reference.
See.
You don't know who Al Bundy is?
No.
This is the greatest college football player of all time.
He is.
I'm a new college football fan.
There's only one person that came close to Al Bundy's stature in college football. That man was Forrest Gump. But he just kept running. He didn't stop.
Seriously, is Al Bundy like a movie figure or something?
No. So Al Bundy.
I got my computer right here.
One of the greatest high school players of all time.
Polk High Hall of Fame.
So
Al Bundy, fictional character. Okay,
No.
I got my computer right here.
No, he's not fictional. He's real.
No, you got to look up. It's Alfred Bundy. Al Bundy is from a show. Alfred Bundy is the real Al Bundy.
Yep. So this
Are you
guy.
being serious?
Yes, we're dead serious.
Al Bundy is a fictional character and the protagonist of the television series Married with
Love
Children.
And the Marriage. That's no love and the
Comes
marriage.
together like a horse
No.
and carriage.
That's the wrong Al Bundy.
He is not fictional, Jay. See,
I don't think he exists.
even the comments say
He's not.
he's real.
And I'm telling you,
You can't
he
say
was-
David Steps is the comments. Okay, David Steps is the one who started this.
No.
Hey, he's
David
also
Steps
a
made the
black belt in jiu-jitsu.
And he also, this dude could sell shoes like there was no other person, man. Like,
Look, okay, I really don't believe this, like at all.
How do you not? Jay.
Okay,
I'm
I
telling
got you and David Steps telling me. If anybody's name is David and they're telling me something, I don't believe it anymore.
What are you talking about?
See, he talks about people behind their back, and he would say it to their face, but his car's only got a half tank of gas.
I'm live on air, man. This is to everybody's face.
Look. We're gonna see if
This
we can bring
reminds
this
me
up here,
of
Jay.
somebody running for homecoming king at my school, and I just
He
started
was
telling
a
people
homecoming.
like
Al Bundy was a
lies that would
homecoming
cater to them. So I was like, "Who's your favorite singer?" And then like, "Oh, okay, he's been to 37 of those concerts this year."
Here we're gonna show you, Jay. See, 4 touchdowns in a game. Don't mind the Google ads. But
We're gonna go through it. It's okay. This is the calm
30-second
before the storm.
unskippable ad.
This is the calm before the
Hi,
storm.
I'm Al Bundy. There was a time I scored 4 touchdowns in one game on this field.
I played high school football. 4 touchdowns in one game.
Do I know you, man? Ever hear of Al Bundy? Polk High, all city, 4 touchdowns in one game?
Do you know what a hero you are to me?
I presume you're referring to my 4 touchdowns in one game? The most famous Polk High football legend. A hint, 4 touchdowns in one game.
You?
Well, it's not. Who once had been a mighty athlete in high school and scored 4 touchdowns in one game. Bundy!
What is this show
Al
devolved
Bundy.
into? Oh my gosh!
Made all city back in '66. 4 touchdowns.
66
And I'm
all
not talking
city.
the whole year.
66.
One game. But do not take me lightly. I once scored 4 touchdowns in a single game for Polk High.
You know, Al, you were really amazing tonight. I mean, 4 touchdowns in a single game.
Ah, babe, that's no big deal. I mean, it's not like it's going to be the highlight of my life or anything.
There you go, Jay.
Hello.
This is like, okay.
So he's real, man. There's no fictional character about this. He's real. the best daggone shoe salesman there ever is. He scored 4 touchdowns in one game. I mean, he's an All-American.
I thought like you showing up as a horror character would
I
be
feel
like
to me,
the craziest thing that happened
they
on here,
are-
but we're 30 minutes in and it's
I'm
not
telling
even
you, man. I feel
second.
like Forrest Gump and Al Bundy, if they was to play on Alabama right now, or the University of North Carolina, for that
What
matter,
about LSU?
we would
No,
be undefeated. We would be undefeated.
If you're running inside zone, you're going with Al Bundy. I mean, that's just the way it is. But if you got a vert, you're going with Forrest Gump because he's running. He's gone. He's streaking.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just the way it is. These are two common legends. If you're going to continue in the sports broadcasting mold, that you got to know.
Yep.
You got to build that up. You got
I
to.
can't handle this.
And Jay, for one
Jay's
day,
going to exit on us.
for no particular reason, it just started raining.
I don't
And
get
it
it. I
didn't
don't
quit
get the
for 4 months.
We love you, Jay. We love you, Jay. I promise you. We love you.
my brain.
Oh.
Brain hurts. Gotta go to bed.
Well, let's go to the comments. The comments. Mr. Stepp says, I thought you had people who knew football on your show.
Oh,
I mean, David and Hatley count as people. He just got one person who doesn't.
It's local Gridiron here on RoCo Radio, RoCoRadio.com. Having some fun this Halloween Eve. One last regular season week to come. We've got 2 games on for you. We've got Walkertown and Moorhead at Moorhead. We'll have your pregame show at 6:30 with the man on the bottom, Jonathan Hatley, alongside the kid, Jay Ramey. They'll have that broadcast for you on RoCoRadio.com, on Substack as well, and on YouTube. We'll be at Reedsville for Reedsville and McMichael. We've got that covered for you as the final week is here. Then on Sunday, join us. We'll be more serious, okay, Jay? On Sunday, we'll be serious. We'll take a look at the playoff. We'll take a look at the playoff projections, where everybody is headed. We'll get you ready for playoffs week number 1. Well, let's break down the games. We'll start with Walkertown and Moorhead. Hatley, what are you expecting to see in that one? Walkertown right now holds a bye in the playoffs if the playoffs were to start today. Your overall what you've seen from Moorhead and Walkertown.
Well, I haven't got a chance to watch Walkertown play in person, but I've heard great things. That defense, very, very few points allowed this season. That's a juggernaut with Cartledge at linebacker. I mean, he's got to be close to leading the state in tackles. And their offense, they can beat you on the ground. They can beat you in the air. That's a tough out for Moorhead. And Moorhead, they've really, from game 1 to now, seen a lot of improvement. The offense has kind of come together. They figured out some things. At defense, they swarm around the ball. Brock Blizzard, he's a absolute monster at linebacker. And they've got some good players, a lot of good young talent, and they're building a foundation for the next couple of years over there.
How about you, Jay? What are you looking forward to in that game?
So I think that these teams, if it's not a particularly close game, I think we could see them try some new things out. Because I don't know if this would happen, but it's the last week before the playoffs. These teams kind of know where they'll be in the seeding. So maybe, Walkertown's kind of an even offense where it comes to passing, running the ball, a little bit more efficient when it comes to the pass game. But we might see them throw in some new wrinkles. And I think we could see the same thing with Moorhead. Moorhead likes to run the ball a lot more than they like to pass it. But I think that Moorhead could kind of switch things up, put the ball through the air some more, take a little bit more risks, since most of these teams kind of know where they're going to be. We could see maybe something different as we head into the postseason, but I'm not sure. I think Walkertown's probably got the upper hand here. I think that's safe to say. Walkertown kind of has hot and cold seasons, looking at their past few years. I know the one season when they went 1-9 was like a bunch of forfeits, but looking over the past few years, but they haven't been able to really get higher than that 12 seed. So I think that it would be interesting if, maybe they get a bye and they get the home game in round 2. and maybe Walkertown can make a run. So they're kind of ramping up towards the playoffs as well. And I think that Moorhead's 2 wins against BY and McMichael, while things haven't been too pretty since then, really boosted their confidence. Kind of an energy change from those first 5 games to what you see now.
Yeah, for me, we covered Moorhead and Rockingham County last week. And what stood out to me is the continued growth of that core for the Panthers and how they're continuing to get better. What stood out on the Panthers side and how things are starting to develop. Those plays are starting to work. The quarterback, Will Gord, a young guy, he's starting to find things as a freshman. I really like the direction, and I will speak on Coach McCants every time I have a chance because I think he's a great developer of players and a great developer of young men. And what we've seen from Moorhead from week 1 to where they are now, it's leaps and bounds. And here's what I'll say. Coach McCants will be like, yeah, but moral victories don't mean nothing. So this is me speaking on it. This is how I feel about it. I can't wait to see the next couple of years and how things build. I think you keep building the blocks a little bit in this game. You test yourself against, by the way, one of the best teams you'll find in the state. I don't care what anybody says, what division. This is a team that can compete with a lot of other teams at the higher echelon in Walkertown. Test yourself, see what you can do against this young, good, talented team with 25 seniors. This is the contrast. You've got 25 seniors for Walkertown versus a whole backfield that is freshmen for Moorhead.
And Walkertown's a 3A school, so that's odd. 25 seniors.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I respect both coaching staffs too. That's what I love about, man, a game like this. Records throw them out the window when you've got 2 coaches and coaching staffs, by the way, not just the head coaches, that really understand the high school football concept, which we can talk about that on an off-season topic as well. High school football is not college football 26. It's not Madden 26. It's not the NFL, and it's not college football. It's a different animal. And David and I have talked about this several different times. Both of these coaching staffs understand that and how to get the best out of these young men. So I'm looking forward to it from that point, and I know that Moorhead can build forward. This is a team with 2 wins, but this is a team that is going to continue to grow and continue to get better every time they take the field.
And I tell you what, Joe, man, you got to see it personally. You know, I got a bone to pick with McCants, man. He kept us out until 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, man, on a Friday, going into Saturday morning. Fault. This dude is absolutely wired up. He's drawing plays left and right, and Joe's looking at the score like, well, look what we got here, man. But it was awesome, wasn't it? It was awesome to go in, you know, the ins and outs of what a coach does, how he does things, how he sets plays up, how he's going to signal it in. I mean, it just across the board was absolutely fantastic, man. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, you know, come October, November, you know, I'd started hearing some things here and there. I was at a McMichael game, and I kind of blew somebody's inbox up and said, hey, you know, here we go. Can we get you in here? And, you know, I'm glad they got him, man. I'm telling you, he is a program builder, and he's going to take, you know, Moorhead back to where they need to be. I mean, I've seen back when I was younger, man, I'm telling you, I've seen, you know, what Moorhead teams are all about. I've seen those 8-win teams. I've seen those, you know, take a deep run into the playoff kind of Moorhead teams. You know, it just takes time, man. You know, it really does. Like you said, it's not college football. I mean, you get 2 years in college football. You get a year in college football, and you gone. You don't do it, you're done. But, I mean, with McCants, man, I mean, he's a great coach all the way around. He's very sound when it comes to attention to detail. He knows it. And he could have fooled me all he wanted to, Joe. He could have fooled me. But I knew there was going to be some kind of razzle-dazzle in there. He tried, but come on now. Come on, McCants. I knew it was coming. He even drew it up for us. He said But, man, it was awesome, dude. It really was.
Shout out to Coach Greer and Coach Roberts and that whole coaching staff as well for putting things together and continuing to improve and get better and stick with it for that team. And that's what it's all about, sticking sticking with those kids and helping them develop and grow. I think we sometimes forget that, especially at this time of the year. I mean, we started our show, besides Michael Myers being silent, we started this show with the playoffs are here, playoffs, but it's more than that. It really is. And I know in our area with the successes that we've had, we can lose track of that. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't hold track on that and we shouldn't celebrate that and we shouldn't be excited about that, but we also need to remember that at the end of the day, all four of these coaches have a job outside of winning a football game. They have a key job of making sure that, as we know, Jay doesn't quite yet, he's not old enough yet, but as we know, coaches and mentors are what get us to the next step in life, and that's the big thing.
You know, it's just it's awesome, man. Now it's tiring. I will tell you what, being an assistant coach in any sport that you go through in high school, it is draining. I'm not going to lie to you, but just going through the whole process and going through the whole grind year after year and watching these kids start, you know, say they're a freshman, you know, watching these kids start in JV, you know, just pre-workouts, you know, sometime in February, March, you know, going through summer workouts and then going through fall, getting ready to go and just watching them grow slowly. I mean, it's just a beautiful thing, man. But I'm telling you, and I know we've got some couch coaches around here too that, you know, they think they know everything. Go through the grind. Go through the grind of what these coaches go through every single day. You know, you look at, you know, I'll take, for instance, Terrain, man, he would be at school all day long, man, all day long. And probably wouldn't get home until 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, because you got to wash practice jerseys. You got to wash, you know, game day jerseys after a Friday night. You know, you're traveling to Walkertown, coming back in. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. You got to start laundry. And then
you're driving the bus, by the way. You're driving the bus,
by the way. And then you're coming back in at 7:30 in the morning to throw them in the dryer and to continue to build and get ready for next week's game, man. I mean, you get hardly no sleep whatsoever. And me, here I was working a full-time job and then going to practice right after this and not getting home till 10:30 at night. And on game days, not getting home until almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So, man, I'm telling you, you got to go through the grind. Even basketball, you know, Coach Angler, I'm telling you, man, he's probably drained by the end of the season, but he loves every bit of it. He's a competitor. That's what he does. And I mean, just as a whole, man, you really got to go in and go through the grind with your team. And it's not a team, it's a family, you know, with your family, and just experience it one good time, man. And I think a lot of these people that really talk, you know, keyboard warriors, I guess you would say, once they see the whole effect of the grind, they will sit back and think, man, okay, I need to give these coaches a break, man. They're really doing a lot. They're putting in the work, you know, for my kids and trying to raise them to become better men. You know what I'm saying? When you get out of high school, but it's just me.
He also when they asked Antoine Cook, they asked basically every coach at the Mid-State Media Day. They asked Bartley Yancey's coach what success would look like to him, and he basically said that watching these young men develop, not on the football field, obviously he wants that, but he was saying develop to be a better big brother, better future father, better future husband.
Yep, exactly.
Listen, we can. There's a very minute number of us that participate in high school sports that are going to make it beyond that gridiron, make it beyond that baseball field, make it beyond that tennis court, whatever it is. So it's important to remember that as well, but also to celebrate the successes too and enjoy the successes. I think the successes are a huge part. I mean, you look at some accomplishments. We're going to talk about this on the Reidsville side coming up here in just a bit. And Big Will makes a good point in the comments. Got to be committed. That comes in the cup. You got to be committed. The coaches have to be committed. But the key part for me, at least from outside perspective and what I experienced in high school, going from a 4-15 wrestling team to a team that went to a regional championship, was the players have to find a way to get committed through the coaching staff. That's like the big thing, ain't it?
And it's trust. You gotta build their trust, man. And I'm gonna tell you, you know, people can say all they want to say, but players see through the BS. They see through it. I mean, if you're not, you know, fully committed in the team, you know, if you're, not that good of a coach, they're going to see through it. And eventually, that's when you got to have a big reset and restart all over again and find somebody else who's fully committed.
Yep, that's just the way it is. As Coach Stepp says in the comments as well, the kids have to buy in. That's the key. That's the key part of it. I mean, every little – and then getting kids from age range of 14 to 18 to buy in.
It's tough.
That is a mastery within itself. And if you can figure that out, I mean, goodness gracious, you're doing good things in this world.
If you can figure that out, you win at life.
That's right.
That way.
That's right. So let's talk Walkertown a little bit before we move on to our other game. For me, last week, we didn't get to see – I couldn't watch any video on NFHS, so I don't have any idea looking at film. But as Hatley mentioned in our text thread this week, it looked like they struggled a bit against Bartlett Yancey. Is that a concern to you guys heading into this final week, or do you still stand where I do and where we did last week, and this is a state title contender in the 3A?
On the close game against BY?
Yes.
I mean, close.
Close.
They won by 30.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes teams will play down to the competition, not to like beat up on Bartlett Yancey, but just to say, like, I mean, they scored 54 points. They probably weren't playing as hard as when they went to Reidsville and lost by 16. So if Reidsville beat BY by 57 and Reidsville only beat Walkertown by 16, Walkertown probably played down a little bit against BY.
Does that concern you?
Now, maybe that's cause for concern going into the playoffs, but
not for me.
Yeah, I don't really think so.
Yeah, not for me.
So when we done the Moorhead game, what was it? It was the McMichael game. When we done the McMichael game, pre-game, and we saw this, Joe, we stopped and we literally looked because we heard it from all the way up in the booth. One of their assistant coaches was absolutely losing it. He said, "I don't care who's across that field. I do not care. Get in it, get your head in the game, and let's do what we got to do." Because they were half button in pregame warm-ups, man. You could tell they were just like, okay, well, we don't care about this team who we're getting ready to play. We're getting ready to put up. And no, the coach stopped everything and said, "Huddle up, come here, get your crap together, and let's go to work like we're supposed to do." And we saw that, man. But I as far as me goes, I don't see that being a problem. I think Walkertown's going to make a deep run. I really do. They're just they are too fast, and they are also physical.
Too furious, too fast for y'all, man.
That 3A division is tough, especially that 3A West. You got Shelby, you got Mount Airy, you got Mountain Heritage. And, I mean, those are just three powerhouse programs that Walkertown's going to have to face probably in the later rounds of the playoffs.
Got East Rutherford.
Yeah, East Rutherford. Can't forget about them. That 3A West is going to be a gauntlet. And it's just a nasty division. It could possibly be top to bottom the best division in North Carolina high school football.
It's definitely one of the more tough ones. It'll be fun to watch that run from afar and see what they can do here with this final game of the season. They'll move to 8-1 if they do defeat Moorhead, and they'll have potentially a top 8 seed. So you get that bye week. I think that does. I don't know how to feel about that bye week for certain teams, and we'll talk about that coming up with Reidsville here in a second. But I mean, it's interesting to see what Walkertown can do, because I just think they can beat you in every phase of the game. Every phase of the game, they can beat you at that level. I mean, they can beat you on special teams. They can beat you on running the football. They can beat you defensively. They can beat you in the air. They can beat you with the quarterback on the run if they have to. They can beat you. We can keep going on that. But I see Walkertown in that division as somebody that if they go knocking on Mount Airy's door, the Granite Bears aren't going to just be able to topple. That's my feeling on it.
No, I mean, any game past about the second round in that 3A West is going to be a dogfight. I don't see anybody just rolling over and losing by 30.
No.
I don't see it happening. Not with any of them.
Nope, I don't either.
I thought my man was going to pull a Dr. Seuss here. They can beat you there. They can beat you here. They can beat you anywhere.
They can beat you on the ground. They can beat you in the air.
We should come up with some poetry for Sunday's selection show.
Oh, no. Let's not do that to the people. Let's not do that to the people. Let's talk Reidsville and McMichael. It's a rivalry game. It's tough to call it a rivalry just considering that McMichael has never beat Reidsville over the years, but it's an important game for both programs. For McMichael, it's to get back in the winning ways to end the season, as they are a playoff team. They're going to make the playoffs most likely. It is to have success, build on the talented athletes that you have, and make a push in those playoffs and do the best you can to set yourself up for success in round number 1. For Reidsville, man, I'll say it again. For Reidsville, I mean, we're talking 4 straight shutouts defensively. Like, this is peak Reidsville championship defense that we're seeing on the field. You can't put it into words hardly sometimes.
Dude,
how they just turn it up at this time of the year.
And how dominant it is. And I have this wrote down in my game notes. Since the loss to Reagan, they have scored 282 points and only given up 45. Let's just put that in there. That's big time right there. I mean, the last 3 games, 42-0, 55-0, 57-0. You only gave up 8 points against Carver. I mean, Walkertown was 44-28, but that was a close game going into the first half. That was a up and down game, that could have went either way. But man, they are firing Joe on all cylinders. As far as defense goes, they figured out something new here. I like what they're doing. They'll go big on the defensive line, and then boom, they'll hit you with small. They're going to go fast, and they're going to go physical. Then they're going to go fast. And man, that mixes everything up because you don't know what's going to come which way or another. And then you got Thor and Kendra Harrison, and you got the linebacking core of Reidsville. Man, they are playing some football on defense. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, if I am Reidsville right now, you got YouTube, you got RoCo Radio first though, RoCo Radio. I would listen to Joe Dexter, David Woods, Jonathan Hatley in that game. And I would be as mad as I don't know what. And I would fuel that game all the way into the state championship. I would be listening to it nonstop. I would be listening to it before I go to bed, wherever you may be.
Over here, over there.
There you go, doctor. There you go.
Sleep with it on. Like, put it on loop on YouTube, RoCo Radio's YouTube, and
just keep going.
Memorize it.
Yes. Go ahead, Joe.
When you talk about that in the drive to get back to a state championship, that's the difference in the Reidsville way. We're going to talk about it in our broadcast more. I've got more numbers for our broadcast, but I want to share a little bit here. We're talking about a senior class on the football and basketball court and the football field. 133-7 over the last 4 years, part of that. A state runner-up and a state championship in football. 2 state titles in basketball and a state runner-up. And they're still doing things. There's still a full postseason on the football field. There's still a basketball season ahead. 133-7. But the real thing I want to talk about, and we talk about these offensive numbers, I'm glad that RoCo Radio is not guilty of it. We love defense. We are defensive hounds. We love talking defensive numbers, but sometimes we get caught up on athletic ability and on offense and talking about skill players.
Yeah.
The skill's on defense in Reidsville, folks. The skill is on the field on defensive possessions for the Reidsville Rams. You don't believe me? Look at the numbers for the last 4 games. The battering Rams, the Blue Death since September 26th against Carver. 33 tackles for loss. That's 8 per game. 13 sacks, 93 yards lost, 27 QB hurries, 2 interceptions, 6 pass deflections. Those are cute stats. They're nice. They look good on a piece of paper in this graphic. They're nice. These are the numbers that matter. All 11 gold hats to the football. Opposing pass attacks are 10 for 28. That's 36% for 89 yards combined in 4 games, 22 yards per game. The run game, opponents, this is the one that matters to me. Opponents have garnered 112 yards total over the last 4 games. That's just 28 rushing yards per contest, 1.4 yards per carry. The last 4 opponents have only garnered 12 first downs cumulative. That means 3 first downs per game for the opposing teams in the last 4 games. These are not just talking points. These are facts and stats.
You want to talk about domination right there. And that's another, stat that I had wrote down, man. On the year, they have 21 sacks. I mean, they're getting to the backfield with ease. And, I mean, they're taking care of business like they should have been. Another thing, they are very disciplined now. I mean, very disciplined. Hardly no penalties whatsoever. They're not killing themselves. They're taking care of business like they should have been doing. I mean, the first couple of games, man, it was, I don't know whether it was officiating. I don't know what it was in general, but I mean, it was something. I don't know. But, man, they are playing very disciplined, very fundamentally sound football right now on both sides. And my goodness, I mean, it's amazing to watch, man. And I can't wait to see it tomorrow, too.
Yeah, I've noticed over the course of the season, kind of across the board, the either the disciplines got better or the zebras are looking the other way just a little bit. Just a little bit. We're not seeing as many flags, not seeing them penalized for as many yards, but we're seeing a lot of conduct penalties, that kind of thing, when we do see penalties. These kids have got to get in control of their emotions, and that starts with the coaching staff.
It is Halloween, Hatley. We will politically correctly call them officials today. Okay? Out of respect on Halloween.
That's horrible. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah, the numbers speak for themselves defensively. And then you throw in the offensive factor with Deontay Neal, who I wanted to hold this to the broadcast, but we might as well put it out there now. 6,000 total yards in his career at Reidsville. Once he gets 124 more total yards, he'll be at 6,000 for his career. 6,000. That doesn't include kick returns and punt returns. I'm just talking total yards, not all-purpose yards.
Or interception returns.
Or interception return yards. Nope, it is just pure offensive pass, run, catch, yardage. 6,000 he's approaching. With 124 yards on Friday, he will get that number and be at 6,000. Then you've got Kendra Harrison having his best season offensively, in my opinion, in the last 5 weeks offensively for him. The way he's figured out his role, and this is just my pontificate, and he knows his role. What I mean is, in the key moments of the game, he knows he's there, and his teammates know that he's there, and he's making the big plays to set the tone in the game. Every single week, Kendra Harrison touchdown sets the tone in the game. Every single week.
I like both of those names. I mean, it's been a pleasure to watch both of these young men. But what about Braxton Johnson?
Yes.
My goodness. I mean, he has been on an absolute tear. I mean, just throwing absolute dimes. I mean, putting balls, to getting his receivers in place to catch them. I mean, just throwing dimes. He's got 20 touchdowns on the year, almost 1,300 yards passing, throwing 65% of his passes completion percentage. The 65%, man, he looks he looks so comfortable now. Like he's a night and day quarterback now. At the start of the season, we're like, man, okay, we knew it was going to come along, but we didn't know, how fast he was going to pick everything up and get it, because this is his first full season, in the starting role and getting used to everything. It takes a little bit of time. But man, I'm gonna tell you, man, against Carver, when we watched that game, I mean, he was throwing ropes. I mean, just the most beautiful deep pass I've ever seen, man, throwing it right to Deontay Neal, right over everybody's head, right over the defenders, just for an easy touchdown, pitch and catch. But man, I mean, the quarterback play, and it always starts with a run game for Reidsville. I mean, they have to start the run game out early to open up the pass game. I mean, you've got several different running backs, including Deontay Neal on the jet sweeps and whatever else the case may be. He's the Swiss Army knife. But, I mean, Derek Lyons, Michael Smith, Keyshawn, number 20. I mean, Josiah Samalu can get in there on some. Keontae Brunson, AP. They are deep at the running back position. And then the receiver position, I was always searching for who was going to be that third guy. You know what? They got 5 different guys that can be that third guy. What was I thinking? I'm crazy. I mean, they've got Demarion Whitted, Frankie Galloway, AP again. You got Hampton, Brathwaite, Lyons, Michael Smith. Everybody can get in on the action, man, at the receiving core as well too. I mean, so they're loaded. And it's crazy to say, man, but they are absolutely loaded. And, they found the pieces and depth that they needed. And here we go. It's getting ready to come.
And, going back to Braxton, he's having to split snaps 8 to 10 times a game. And that's before they get the big lead and the clock starts running with Deontay, with Tyson, with whomever. Just Coach T throwing in that extra wrinkle, that different look, get the ball in the hands of somebody different.
Yeah.
And both those guys taking snaps can produce too. It's a scary combination.
Yeah, man. You can see 3 different quarterbacks in this offense, and you don't never know when they're going to come.
Do we think that there's more motivation on all sides to win this year? Because you've got a quarterback who's never won a ring. So there's added there. He's still got the desire. I think you probably want to win your first ring more than you want to win your second ring. Maybe. I mean, I might be wrong about that. But I think that having a quarterback who wasn't part of the championship team kind of helps you in that respect. And then I think the rest of the guys, juniors and seniors, coming off of last year's loss that really, really hurt early on in the playoffs, going into last year's playoffs, they might not have been taking East Rutherford seriously. And, they're still in the confetti from, the 2023 season. And, they're kind of, we've got our rings, less motivation there. But now this year could be peak motivation, especially because they're seniors and they know this might be their last ride.
So the older I get, the more, what's the word? Get off my lawn, I get, kind of, maybe. Maybe that's the word.
You're turning into me, Judd.
So the older I get, the more I understand. Listen, I was a writer. I'm a writer. I want the narrative, right? I want that beautiful narrative right there on the plate. I want it. They failed here, so it's set up here, and it looks not. Now, I think you're right. I think that fuels some things, but I think it fueled things in training camp. It fueled things after that game. It fueled things on the basketball court. It fueled things in the weight room. Right now, I think when you look at these kids that have proven at a record of 133-7 over the last 4 years on the basketball and football diamond, they're doing what they've done, whether they've lost or not in those moments. They're leaving it all on the field and on the court. I think that's just part of who they are, part of who they will be moving forward as well, and wherever they end up. So I think I agree with where you're coming from, and I agree with what you're saying. But I think from my perspective, as I've gotten older, I've started to realize there is some simplicity and belief in the one game at a time adage. It's a real thing. It is something to me where I think these kids literally one game at a time, they go out there, they're like, This is the game. This is the moment. This is what I'm focusing on. I don't care who's across the line. I'm giving it everything 150% right here, right now, in this moment. And I think that they approach it that way until there's no more moments. And I don't think they really buy into narrative or, again, I'm speaking and pontificating because I've never asked. But I feel like that would be the case. At least that would be the direction I feel the coaching staff would lead them. And it's worked in Reidsville. Look at the numbers speak for themselves. The rings speak for themselves. I think it's an adage that has worked for them. And getting back to what we talked about earlier, embedding yourself in the defensive identity, that's where it starts. And once you figure that out, everything else comes and fills the pieces.
Yep.
But I definitely think it probably fueled things this summer. And maybe you know what, to your point, Jay, when you're in moments in games in the second round, third round, the fourth round, where it's a make or break moment maybe, which we may or may not see. I'm not saying that they're going to be in those moments. I'm saying if those moments present themselves, they're going to remember how they felt. They're going to remember that INT to end the game. They're going to remember the moments where they could have stopped the run. They're going to remember those moments in the moments in front of them. And I think that might play a factor.
Yeah, this is just broadly speaking. And I mean, there's like 50 different guys on a football team. So everybody's probably coming from a different place. So it depends on the individual psychology going into a game.
But you could tell, man, like, at the end of that game, man, even all three of us, we were like, oh, my goodness. I mean, we were just speechless. We didn't know what to say. We didn't know what to do. We were just, just standing there when the game was over and the clock hit 0. And we're like, man. But as soon as that game hit, they had the emotion. It was a long season. But then it was back to the drawing board, man. And that, I think this game right here not just only fueled this season alone, I think it fueled basketball season. I think they had the hate and just the absolute will to just belt to butt all the way through the state championship at Wake Forest that we done, man. And you could just see there's just a light switch that just clicked and they're just steamrolling. And
they played with an absolute chip on their shoulder all season after that. It was insane to watch, and they just decimated the competition.
Yeah.
This is going to be my moment here. Where I'm going to remind everybody. This is an important thing to me. And people are going to call me out, put this on the high school football talk page. I'm ready. I'm a big boy. You ready for this? This is to fans. This is to fans, not parents, not coaches, not administrators. This is to fans.
What about broadcasters?
Broadcasters too. You listen in, Jay. You ready? Lock in. Lock in.
I'm locked.
This is what you have. Remember that as you're cheering, or you're taking a moment to think that some call didn't go the way it should, or that some coach made the wrong decision, or that some player wasn't in the game that you thought should have been, or some player didn't make that play you thought they should have. You are fortunate as a fan base to have this in front of you, to have had this in front of you. You're talking about, you look in a matchup against McMichael. It's been, I don't know, since 1986, since the last time they lost to Madison Mayodan in the Falcons. That's the last time they lost to that team. They'd never lost to McMichael. The last time that Reidsville as a football program had a losing season was 1988. I was 2 years old. This is just a reminder to be thankful for what you have as a high school sports fan, and not take advantage of it and not be upset about it if things don't always go the perfect way, or a high school player doesn't make the perfect play for you. This is what you have. Remember that. That's my 5 cents. I'm done. Look, Joe,
you should have full-sized the screen on that and kicked I Love Halloween, Hatley and me off for that.
Give me the Halloween mask. I don't need to talk anymore.
My man pulling an absolute John Gruden right there. Dude, I'm going to line up against some NFL defensive end, and I'm going to get smashed. But you know what? Just that speech right there, dude, it makes me want to do it right now. Where did that come from, man? That's what I'm talking about, Joey. You do
Listen,
You're
it.
the first person to ever hype someone up to be thankful. You're really excited for Thanksgiving.
This is the bottom line, okay? I was Jay at one point. I was a young kid that wanted to be a broadcaster, and I had a passion and a fever that I'm going to call championship game after championship game. I'm going to be there in those moments, and it is going to be electric. I'm going to have those opportunities. Guess what? For 15 years, they didn't come. I enjoyed every moment of those teams that I covered that didn't get to that point, whether it was basketball, tiddlywinks, whatever I covered. When I got to Reidsville in 2015, and I've been able to experience, it changed my perspective because I'm an outsider. I'll say it. I am an outsider. I've seen the outside. I've covered the 1-9 teams. I've been the guy that's called those games where the team didn't win a game for years. So it just gives me a perspective, and you got to look at the whole all-encompassing factor. And instead of being upset in those moments, or frustrated or not understanding how they didn't make that play or win that game, East Rutherford comes to mind. Remember how many championship games that you've been able to witness. Remember those moments that you did get to witness that we do get to be a part of. I've been in a press box of a state championship game more times than I can count on my hand now. That's crazy to me. But people don't think about it that way. They're used to turning on my 48 and watching the game. They're used to going to Wake Forest. Those are luxuries in certain circumstances. Now, you set the tone. That is the tone of Reidsville. That is the expectation. But that also doesn't mean we got to outsell when the expectation doesn't hit. I mean, that's just the way I feel like I have to say that sometimes. These are kids on a sports field at the end of the day that went 133-7 thus far and are going to do great things. We're going to see a kid at UNCG do great things on the basketball court. We're going to see a kid in Eugene, Oregon, or Oregon, however you say it.
What?
Correct me in the comments. We're going to see kids in our local communities doing great things. We're going to see a Luke Stripmatter move on, and that fever that he plays with on the field, on the baseball diamond, on the basketball court, that's going to translate to the community he chooses to bless. That's what we got to remember, not the all right.
I love
feel
it.
better.
I love it. I
The-
love it.
And we forget that because we are blessed.
Yep.
Remember the blessing that we have, even as a parent. If you have a kid competing in a sport, I mean, it's not just football and it's not just Reidsville. We've got a championship program on the volleyball court. We've got a championship softball team. We've got a championship tiddlywink team coming up somewhere. We've got championships upon championships in this county. I've never seen anything like it from a person that has covered several rural areas. Enjoy it, embrace it, and find the good in the bad moments that you find bad. And just remember, man, the one thing I love about these kids in this area, whatever school it is, that stands out to me every single time we cover a game is they leave it on the floor. They leave it on the diamond. They leave it where they're performing. And they always do that. That's something in today's day and age, too, that is rare. So that is a credit to our parents that have student athletes as well. So if we're going to call one thing out, we got to call the other thing out. You know what I mean? These kids give it all, they leave it all, and they are great kids. They're doing great in school. So remember that. Remember that. It's just a game at the end of the day. It's an important game. Championships mean something. Those championship rings that Ava Grace Pruitt and that squad we're wearing, I got a big smile on my face seeing those. They will mean something for the rest of their lives. But also, those losses, I remember my losses on the wrestling mat more than I remember the championships. So losses are important in a way to build character. You think Deontay Neal might be a little bit better because of that East Rutherford loss? I do. You think Kentre Harrison's a little bit better because of that East Rutherford loss? I do. Do you think that Deontay Neal and company got back to face Farmville Central because of that loss to Farmville Central? I do. It builds, and we got to let that build, and we got to allow that, and we've got to make it something that we cherish, not cherish losing, but cherish the moments that are built from losing. And when we get to that point, we're at the full circle and we've done our jobs. That's why you'll never hear me degrade a moment on a broadcast, because I don't feel that it's necessary. I don't feel that that's the way it should be.
Our job is, Joey, is to build these kids up and to put their names out there, and that's just what we do. That's you started this thing, and with RoCo Radio, you started with Roy, and then you moved over, and he allowed you to take over the sports side of things, and we appreciate you too as well, buddy. I mean, for you, I've been in this thing for what now, 3 or 4 years, and I've had the pleasure of calling 2 state championship games. So I know the 15 years that you probably had were pretty rough, man, but welcome to Rockingham County, my boy. These things, we're used to these things. We've seen a lot of great kids come through here. I mean, you got not just, the kids, but like, look at Takeo Settle. Come from Moorhead High School, coaching UNCG. I mean, Rockingham County has nothing but absolute studs, absolute ball players, from men's sports to women's sports. I mean, it is across the board. I remember Amy Simpson, at the Moorhead ladies basketball squad, man. She went to NC State. Across the board, I mean, we have to, recognize what we have as far as student athletes go across the board, man. I mean, from McMichael to Rockingham to Moorhead to Reidsville, there's always these kids, man, that are just so special and can light the field up, whether it's on the court, whether it's on the field. It doesn't matter, whether it's on the wrestling mat. I mean, any sport, it doesn't matter. It's a pleasure to be able to get a chance to see all of these student athletes at the end of the day, and to see how hard they work and how hard they put in on the grind of. And I mean, I'm telling you, they're tired. They're just as tired as we are. I mean, you're going to school and doing all this classwork, and then you're having to work out, and then you're having to go through practice, and you have to do it again the next day. I mean, it's like working a full-time job. But I mean, it's just like you said, man, at the end of the day, man, we just have to sit back and realize that, man, we're getting to see something special with not just Reidsville, but all the schools that we get to, be a part of, and that allow RoCo Radio to come to their different facilities across the board in the state of North Carolina. I mean, with times now with sports to where it's hard to get kids to come out and play, man. I just feel like I'm starting to see a turnaround, and the numbers are going to start getting back up. I'm hopeful. I mean, I love sports. I mean, I will love sports until the day I die. I mean, it's just me. I mean, I love it. I love doing this. I love the grind of it, but man, like you said, dude, it's a great speech right there, man. Just seeing all these great athletes at the end of the day, man, and I will remember it for the rest of my life. I promise you.
The one thing that sticks out to me, and then I'll get off my horse, but you take one school in our community, one school. We'll take Rockingham County High School, okay? You've got John Settle, the first undrafted running back to receive to get 1,000 yards and be joined the 1,000-yard club. That's cool. That's great. That's something that will never be taken away from Coach Settle. That's something that will never be taken away from an accomplishment from a Rockingham County High School, right? But you know what that turned into? A coach that changes lives at the college level, at the highest level possible. We're talking Wisconsin, Kentucky, Rice. And not only is he coaching running backs at a high level, he was changing lives and doing what he did, all sprung from the sports in Rockingham County and the coaching that he received to build him up, and at App State. From the same school, the same exact school, You have Miss Jennifer King, the first hired female black coach in the NFL. She was a great athlete. She is a great athlete still. She was a great coach on the basketball court. She did a lot of great things. She played and did great things, right? That will never transcend the impact she had for young females, that she still has for young females, and that started right here in Rockingham County. And it continues to build for both of those. And that's just a small example. Then you got Jimmy in the comments with a great example. Jerome Simpson with the Bengals made it to the biggest and best point. And look what he's doing in our community. He brought it back home. And that impact starts with the coaching. It starts with these athletes doing great things, but the sport is important. The wins are important. They get you places. They get you to Coastal Carolina. But the big thing that they do is they open up doors to do even more important things outside of sport.
Yep.
And we do not talk about that enough here in Rockingham County. Some of the great athletes that have turned their athleticism into something more important. I respect the hell out of that, pardon my language. That's the biggest honor. It's not 3,000 yards in the NFL in a season and doing great things, and it's not being a 5-star to me. Those things are fantastic and they mean a lot, but it's those things of changing your community and changing your outlook because of sport. And that's the beauty. And we are blessed in our community. I don't know what it is. We got a saying around here. It might be something in the water up here in Rockingham County.
Oh,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is, but it is life-changing. And we need to keep building off of that and keep building and allowing these athletes to blossom into what they're supposed to be.
I'll tell you what, you keep drinking that Dan River water, Joey, and you might be the next Ryan Day, my man. You just keep on drinking it. It's going to happen eventually.
Any other thoughts on the Reedsville game? Any other thought? Let's get back on track here. We've been on for an hour and a half. We'll wrap things up here real quick, but any thoughts?
I think, man, as far as McMichael goes, let's get on McMichael a little bit, man. We kind of, like we said, we got off track. Man, I picked apart, against BY, man, and I'm telling you, I see some things, and it is there. The offensively, man, it can be something very special. I'm not saying it's not now, but I'm telling you, it could take it to a whole nother level, man. I'm seeing a lot of, when they're running trips, as their slot receivers. I felt like last week, man, Jaquise Vernon should have had an absolute field day with underneath stuff. Again, I love Kai to death, man. You got to hit the underneath stuff, my man. I'm telling you, it is there all day long. As an example, I know the offense is a run and shoot and is built on throwing it deep, but at the same time, man, you got to hit your underneath stuff before you get to the deep, because it's going to work itself out, man. If you keep hitting the underneath, eventually these safeties are going to come up. And what's going to happen next, guys? Then you can throw it. You can throw it. You can throw haymakers, because I'm telling you, they're going to bite.
Going different directions.
But I'm telling you, man, I really like the offense. I like where it's going. This is good. I really like it. Defensively, I feel like you have really got to mix it up. I feel like in this day and age too, I mean, I feel like you got to go to the 4-2-5. A lot of these teams that, in this conference too, and even last year, man, they really love to sling the football. I mean, you had some teams last year with your West Stokeses and different teams that really love to run the football. But at the same time, man, everybody's passing it. Everybody's slinging it around. I mean, they're going to have their run game. Don't get me wrong, because you have to set your run. You have to get your run game started to set up the passing. But I just feel like, man, there's some great athletes at McMichael, man. Their receiving core is fantastic. I mean, I know they've had struggled a little bit on the offensive line, man. They haven't had the same offensive line since week 1 when we were at Wilkes Central. But I know this team is better. I know this team is a good team, man, all across the board. I mean, it's just one of those things, like you said, you just have to dig down deep, man. I know it's been a battle. I know it's been a struggle, man. Week 1, Joe, we seen a McMichael team, man, that can put some points on the board, that can be fundamentally sound. And I'm telling you, man, I love this team because it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if they're getting beat, they're still putting it all out there regardless. They're playing hard. That's what McMichael football does, man. We've seen that with McCants each and every time. We've seen them be down. You know what? We're going to continue to get punched in the mouth, but we're going to continue to punch you in the mouth. And at the end of the day, you're going to know that you just played McMichael football, and you're going to be like, man, dude, I'm wore out, dude. These guys, they battled. But like I said, at the same time, man, I see a lot of potential. I really do. And I sent y'all a couple of plays that I'm like, okay, look at this. Take a look at this across the board. Take a look at this slot receiver right here. Check down. Get it to him. I would rather pick up 5 or 6 yards at a time than I would throw it deep on a 50-50 ball that it's not probably going to be complete at the same time. Eventually it will, because you have to, like I said, you have to go in stride. You have to go your underneath stuff before you get to the deep stuff. But like I said, dude, at the same time, man, that speech that you gave me, like, there's so much potential for McMichael, man. I really think so.
I think you can build a lot onto this playoff matchup that's coming up, and I know they might be a 22 seed or whatever it is, but when you have a system like they do that's not traditional, you can't go look up and see, oh, let's type in Google and see what they're running. That can be a problem in the playoffs. I think you got to build towards that and build towards seeing your matchup in the playoffs and giving the best run for your money and continuing to build for those juniors in that freshman class. You were well aware of that with Jay on the squad, David, and that's a good young up-and-coming squad.
And I'm going to tell you, so right now, I think it might be a chance that he might get some playing time tomorrow against a big-time Reidsville team. And I told him, I said, even if you don't get to play, dress out. Watch the other side. Watch what they do. I mean, I've told him about the tradition of Reidsville football, and all they do is win. I mean, that they take care of business on the football field. Look at what they do. Have that ingrained in your mind. And when you're going through McMichael football, remember, hey, you know what? We got to get to this level. We got to do whatever it is. We've got to get in the weight room. We've got to be in the classroom, making the grades, just being out there, preparing each and every week. And you see the outcome with Reidsville and what they do, man. And I know a lot of people hate on Reidsville. I sometimes you don't like for people to win all the time, but I mean, it's the standard there. It's what they do. They are just big time football and basketball and across the board, man. They have so many good athletes, but man, I'm telling you, like, dude, it's so much potential for McMichael football. I feel like right now, in our honest opinion, pre-game, or preseason before we got together, we knew that there was no doubt in my mind they could win 5 ball games at least. They could be 500 right now.
You're talking about McMichael, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could be 500 right now.
Yeah. And to my point, kind of balancing off my point earlier, and we are fast to judge coaching decisions, I think we also should bless and think about and be thankful for, like, coaches that make adjustments, not just in game, but Reidsville's interior rush defense was the question we had heading into the season, right? That ain't a question right now.
No.
And we're fast to grab the microphone. It's, Coach, you got to fix the rush deep. You got to fix the rush deep.
Yeah.
But we ain't on the mic. Coach, you fix the rush deep. Coach, good job. You guys are playing hard. We're not doing that.
Yeah. And if you have an offensive line that's struggling, man, add an extra person up there to make it 6 guys, just to know that you've got an extra somebody that can, if they're bringing the pressure, you got 6 guys that can block right then and there. I mean, if you're struggling, like I said, on the offensive line, do that.
Throw you an A back in there, throw you a fullback in there.
if you can't
Extra
stop
blocker to pick up that blitz.
yeah. I mean, if you can't stop the run, add a couple of guys up there. If you can't stop the pass, just run a 4-2-5. I mean, at the same time, man, you have to be able to adjust sometimes. I mean, it's just the way it is, man. I don't know. It's just a whole nother story for a whole nother day, Joey.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is it's not the olden days in all sport, not just football, where you can run a system, right? Where you can run the system. Now you have your system elements, you have your system identifiers, you have what you build off of, but you still have to be with the athletes that we're seeing at the high school level now. When we were in high school, David, and that wasn't even that long ago because we're still young.
Yeah,
we're still young.
Yeah.
But Hatley, maybe not the story, but we're still young. Even the difference in athlete from when I was in high school in 2005 to now 20 years later is unbelievable.
But it goes down to know preparation from week to week against each team. Look at some of the things like attention to detail. Like, say for instance, watch a guy that's playing corner. Why does he keep backing up? I mean, why is he backing up like that? Put pressure on that guy. Throw to him. Throw against that guy all day long until he finally says, hey, you know what? Okay, I'm going to respect you. I'm going to play up. I mean, there's little things. If you watch film long enough and you break down each individual team, you can find things that there's some flaws somewhere or another that you could see. I mean, I've only coached for a couple of years, but I see things all the time. You just have to go ahead.
I don't have the data. This is just a eye test, right? Eye test. I've never asked the coaches this. I've never surveyed, but I was going to give you some trivia tomorrow night, but
oh no.
But I'm going to do it right here.
Okay.
So let's take Hall of Fame coach Jimmy Teague. There's a reason the teams were successful under him because that meticulous nature that you're talking about. I can't go and say I know that Coach Teague is meticulous because I've been in his meetings, but I can tell you that he was 146-11 against conference opponents in his time at Reidsville. 146-11. He only lost 11 conference games in all the years that he was a coach of Reidsville. I can tell you that against the current conference opponents that are currently in the Mid-State Conference, he went 101-2 in his whole tenure in Reidsville. You don't do that unless, back to your point, that you're meticulous. Mm-hmm. You hold your coaches to a standard to be meticulous. You find what works. You don't hope to see what works.
And what a great coaching staff he had behind him.
Mm-hmm.
What a great coaching staff across the board, because it is big time when you have great assistant coaches behind you and that stand behind you no matter what, and you're flowing as one, and you're figuring things out, and you're making the adjustments that you're supposed to at the end of the day. I mean, it's hard. I'm going to tell you, in today's world, and a lot of coaches will attend to this, like it's hard to find good assistant coaches, man, that want to stay in the grind and want to put in the work to make these teams better. I mean, it's you don't make this. I'll tell you that right now. You don't make this. It's for the love of the game at the end of the day. I'm telling you, because you don't make much money being an assistant coach. I'll tell you that.
That's the honest truth right there. Yep. I mean, you got to just love to do it. And I'd like to think that even though I've never asked or I've never been in a meeting, that Coach Teague and his staff are meticulous just based off of execution. And the first thing that Coach Honeycutt, that Coach Robertson, that Coach, any of these coaches that have had a long tenure that are successful, Coach Teague, the first thing they'll tell you though is the biggest part of the equation, if the coaching equation was an RPI formula, 80% is the players. It's the players and their talents. I understand that, but in order to build something, you got to have that cherry on top. You've got to have the 20% of difference in finding what will work versus what won't, and in finding those moments
and
for your team to have success.
And putting the players in great situations to be successful.
Oh, we got Big Will in the comments right here. He says, I think BY will defeat Carver before we head out of here. Any final thoughts on that?
No, just no.
There's a possibility. From what I watched against McMichael, man.
1% doesn't count as a
Who was
possibility.
the kid? No, but who was the kid, man, that was juking and jiving?
Tremonde Fike.
Yeah. I mean, what a ball player, dude. I mean,
Fike and Johnson were both running the ball well.
Yeah. And they got the ability, man, to – it's a possibility. I'm not going to put that off the table. Absolutely.
What was the score of Carver Moorhead?
I don't remember.
Got it right here. Jay. It was 28-0.
What was the score of Moorhead BY?
Moorhead BY.
14-13.
14-13. That's not far off.
Moorhead beat BY. Maybe 1 point isn't far off. 28 definitely is.
Yeah, but towards the end of the season, man, I agree with that, dude. I really agree with Big Will on this one. Because both of the teams,
BY's coming off their first win in like 8 weeks.
Both of these teams, Jay, are neck and neck. There's not one that's above the other. They are even across the board.
All right, we'll see.
I'm telling you, even across the
board. Because like I see the RPI and like there's one that's 23 and there's one that's like 46.
I have watched both teams and broke them down on film. They're evenly matched.
Okay.
Big Will says Carter is overrated and number 5 is the guy to watch for BY. Yep.
Yep.
I think when you look at it, it could be an interesting game. I agree.
It really could.
Maybe by mid-state standards because every game's a blowout. But yeah, Carver's going to beat BY and it will be bad for BY.
We'll find out.
Uh-oh.
Where's that game at?
That's a good question. That game is at home for Bartlett Yancey.
That's an interesting wrinkle in the matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Has Bartlett Yancey won a home game?
Bartlett Yancey at home is 1-3. I believe their win at home was week 1 against Northern Durham.
They are a better home team than away team. They hadn't won an away game since like 2023 when they beat McMichael.
I mean, would you have predicted that Bartlett Yancey would have scored 48 on McMichael?
No. Well, actually, I told Hatley, I said whoever scores first is going to blow the other team out. But look,
he did say
here's
that.
The thing. Carver, when it comes to facing lesser opponents, they've got 6 wins. This is a Bartlett Yancey team, and I'm not trying to beat up on Bartlett Yancey. They're one of the bottom 15 teams in all of the 3A. If Carver beats the lower level teams again and again and again, and BY is one of the very few teams that will bring their opposing win percentage, which is like the worst in the 4A down, then I think they'll win.
Man, this could be I wish both teams won.
Okay, so Carver's lost to what? Reedsville, Walkertown, Rockingham County?
Yes.
Those are solid teams. Those are all teams that are going to have home games in the playoffs.
True.
Reedsville, Walkertown, both championship contenders.
All right,
they
Joe,
beat up on the teams that are lower level.
My question is, who had the tougher schedule, Carver or BY?
I'd say
non-conference,
but they're
BY.
But BY still played some.
I mean, they still played, but not as bad as Carver.
Their non-conference wasn't anything to call home about. I mean,
what about their conference schedule where they played the same teams? BY just won their first conference game. Carver's won 2. Carver's got more wins against the same opponents than BY.
But what about matchups? Okay. What about offensive matchups?
I'll tell you, Rockingham gave a great formula on how to shut down Carver. I mean, a great formula.
I mean,
And with Tamondre Fike in the backfield and Nunley Mayo running out of the read option, there's potential there.
I will agree.
now Carver is 3-0 on the road, to Jay's point, and they have lost 3 of the last 4, and they are against those opponents.
BY's lost 8 of the last 9 or 7 of the last 8.
They've won
Wait,
a game.
They're on a win streak. They've won 1.
They're momentum, not a win streak. They're
I'm
spirits
sorry,
are high.
but
They've been leading in 4 quarters.
You know,
in a
the
row.
telltale in this one, we need to watch the Carver podcast and see how much junk they talk. Because the more junk they talk, the worse they play.
yeah,
Hey, they might be using this podcast for fuel. The way that we're going after it.
I'm telling you,
It's to me, it's basically if the Carver sticks with their traditional T run game, they have a better chance of winning, and if they have success with it. If BY uses Fike like they did last week, they have a better chance than trying to throw it 150 times.
Mm-hmm.
Carver
And what I
42,
see-
BY 7.
And the BY game that I seen last week, man, it's some potential there. I see these 2 teams as equal across the board. I'm throwing away records right now. That's just me. I've watched them both. I see them being even. Offensively, defensively, across the board.
We'll see what they do on the field. That will be the ultimate tale. You know, Jay's going to be on the scoreboard.
Oh,
I'm going to be watching it on NFHS live. Okay, it's going to be the full screen's going to be up. It's going to be
blow.
He's just going to leave me with play-by-play. He's going to be watching BY and Carver.
Yeah.
What now, David?
Carver needs a Ridgeville out of town scoreboard update. And then I talk about the Moorhead game because I've been talking about the BY Carver game the whole time.
For me, it would be a lock for BY if they had Al Bundy, but they don't. So I'm not going to guarantee a win. We'll see what happens.
42, BY 7.
Big Will, you throw a wrench in the whole show, man. God.
Hey, Melita agrees with me, so I'll win.
There you go. It's a local Gridiron. You got one that doesn't in the comments. That one that does in the comments agree with you. So
I value Melita's opinion more, though.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you don't want the Big Will buzzsaw, Jay. You don't want the Big Will buzzsaw. It's the local Gridiron here on RoCo Radio, RoCoRadio.com. We'll wrap things up here after an hour and 41 minutes of yapping, and we are going to bring you more local Gridiron content this week on Sunday. Once the playoff brackets are released, we'll get that information to you on the local Gridiron. We'll have a show at some point that evening, probably a little bit later after the brackets are released. We'll break down where our local teams are headed. We'll tell you where we are headed upon NCHSAA approval, and we'll get you ready for week number 1 of the playoffs. We'll also wrap up some of the action that happened on Friday night. We'll talk about that a little bit as well in the local Gridiron on Sunday. Of course, you can join us on the air because you care with football action in the final week. We've got Moorhead hosting Walkertown. Jay Ramey, Jonathan Hatley on the call on RoCoRadioSports.substack.com. On YouTube, search for RoCo Radio, and as well as RoCoRadio.com. Yours truly, David Woods, will be at Community Stadium for Reedsville and McMichael. Pre-game shows at 6:30 p.m. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Radio Rockingham, RoCoRadio.com as well, and all your social media sites. So join us on Sunday. We'll talk football. We'll get you ready for the playoffs. Thanks for joining us here for this final time this regular season. Take care, everybody. We'll see you down the road. And happy Halloween.